Welcome to the video presentation for today's lesson, Unit 2, Day 7. This is the lesson where you will be introduced to your essay number 2 for English 1010, a rhetorical analysis essay. If you are not in class, our academic notes section is going to be taken over by the counselors. They are coming into our classroom to go over FAFSA information, some freebie links to applying for colleges that are waiving the application process fee during application week in the high schools throughout the state. And so they're just taking notes on what the counselors say. So I don't have that content, only your counselors do. It's so important if you are not around that you schedule a meeting with your counselor so you can get the information from them. The other thing is, yes, it will be part of your points. So the only way I guess you could make up this information is if you take the time to go visit with your counselors and record that information from them. For the main part of lesson today, we're going to be spending an hour looking at rhetorical analysis essays written by students and then selecting an actual essay to respond to in a rhetorical analysis essay for your paper number 2. So on slides 3 and 4, they have activities that we will be doing in class with 2 sample essays. The first one is to actually read the essay. That there's a link here, and I think I have a copy of it in your resource booklet. So read the essay, get a feel for the content of how long it is and how to develop a rhetorical analysis essay. We actually got into small groups and discussed what they noticed about the content in each of the paragraphs. And hopefully this is a review because we discussed introductions and body paragraphs 2 days ago in class. The second one is a chance for you to look within each paragraph what to put in each paragraph. So you need, for this exercise, you need a copy of this essay if you're not in class. Either, I think I included this actual essay in your packet, get it and get some crayons and then follow the activities listed below. I just do want to point out in the second part in the body paragraphs, if the student is doing a good job with the rhetorical analysis essay, the majority of what your coloring should be green because that's where you analyze. And remember, we are writing a rhetorical analysis essay. So follow the steps here, complete this exercise so you can get a visual look as to what content you want to put into your upcoming essay. I just want to remind you again what a rhetorical analysis is not and what it is. So remember, it's not just a summary. We've learned how to write summary paragraphs, but it's not just a summary. It's not an opinion about whatever the topic is of the original essay, and it's not a research paper. So if you look over here, I'm taking my cursor and kind of, this is a synthesis essay is where you take multiple sources like this one above and turn it into one paper. An analysis means you start with one paper and you look at it multiple ways, even though this is your one paper. Remember, an analysis is covering what the writer's overall purpose is, why the writer's essay worked. Most of these should be work because they are great essays. And how did the writer go about achieving his or her purpose? So here we go with essay number 2. In your packet, you will find the actual assignment for essay number 2. These are in the extra sheets. If you'll pull that out, you'll notice that your assignment is to pick an essay or a TED Talk to respond to. I just want to tell you up front, while the TED Talks sound a little bit more appealing, you have to do a lot more writing and recording to write things down, whereas an essay you can actually see the words. So I'm not telling you to avoid doing a TED Talk. If any of those topics look interesting to you, that's certainly fine, but you're just going to have to do a lot more writing since, again, the actual essay is not, or the transcript of the TED Talk isn't written out for you. So you're going to pick one and follow the steps on the essay to get it done. So just a really important part of this slide as well. Once you select an essay from the assignment sheet, you need to go to the resource section of today's Canvas lesson, because I put the same assignment sheet in the resources that you have a printed copy of. However, from Canvas, I've included the links to the actual essays. Otherwise, you're going to have to find the essay on your own, and you don't want to have to do that. So I have PDF versions of all of them by using the resource in your Canvas lesson for today. So after you've picked an essay, you're going to read it repeatedly. Read it repeatedly. And as you do so, you're going to annotate the essay and start thinking about what the writer is doing. So this slide goes over some things that you can think about that will help you. If you're thinking, what do I write notes on and off to the side? Again, you're not writing whether or not you agree with the topic. You're focusing on what the writer did to make something work. So these are some really good questions that you can think about as you are reading, and take notes off to the side as you annotate your selected essay. Remember that a good analysis avoids these mistakes. So for the sake of time, I'm not going to take time to read them, but you have to understand them. Please pause the video and read this information. So your assignment will be to read extensively and annotate your essay, or take detailed notes of your TED Talks, and then uncover the hows of your selected text. In other words, what are some of the key things that the writer did to make the text work? You will be turning in 2 things next time. The first one will be your annotated notes. So if you were doing a TED Talk, it's all the notes you took while you were watching the TED Talk more than once. If you are reading or responding to an essay, you print the essay and annotate it off to the side. And then to help you organize your thoughts in more of the how, what the writer did, I gave you a worksheet that you're going to fill out extensively and submit it for next class period. The other thing that I want you to really pay attention as you are reading or watching your selected resource for essay number 2 is how the writer appealed to logos, ethos, and pathos in this essay. I think it's important, and especially in a beginning writing class, you really want to understand how a writer appeals to those 3 appeals. You'll notice one that we haven't talked to. They talk about it in AP a lot. Kairos, and what that means, it's not part of the rhetorical triangle that you can see on the illustration to the right that I put on there for you. But Kairos is really important because it's not part of the triangle, but it means appropriate and relevant timing of the article. So for this one, you're going to have to do a little bit of background to the context of when the article was written and why that article worked for that particular time period. So that could be one of the appeals that you think about as well. In the perfect world, I'd want all of you to have one of your hows to deal with the appeals. Some of you might just choose to focus all on the appeals throughout your essay, which is great. But I do want you to either pick at least one or multiple appeals that you see the author using effectively in your text. Finally, these are the deadlines that are coming up for this essay. So you'll notice that what we're doing today, picking out a selected text to use to write your rhetorical analysis, and doing an annotation as well as completing the chart. Both of those are pre-writing thinking skills, getting you ready to write. On Friday, we will spend a lot of time in class, since it's just a short class, helping you develop a thesis sentence and your introductory and summary paragraphs. Next Tuesday is going to be a draft day. On Thursday, your rough draft will be due. So you have, since the day that tomorrow is Wednesday, or the day of this lesson is Wednesday, that basically gives you 8 days to get a solid rough draft put together. Then you'll notice the days break a lot, like I mentioned before. Then we go into fall break. And when you come back, we will spend our academic note times editing your draft, and it will need to be submitted to Unicheck on Wednesday, October 27th, even though both on Monday and the 25th and the 27th, we will begin a new unit. So that's our lesson for today. That's an important one. If you have any questions, please visit me on Friday during the 1 o'clock time, or sign up for a conference before or after school. And have a good day. Thank you.